welcome back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. It's your boy DJ KO. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show. As we are approaching the New Year's, I want you guys to make sure that you celebrate family, friends, the life of Christ, Hanukkah. What else they have? They have three kings in Puerto Rico. Whatever you do to celebrate, make sure you guys have a good time as we approach in holiday season. Much love from the Culturally Distinct Podcast. I'd like to give a big shout out to my sponsor, 605 Adult Beverages. It's a perfect time to get those adult beverages with that little infusion in there. You already know what it is. Holla at my people over there at Drink AOP 6. Much love to Red Core Universe also for streaming us on different platforms. Thank you guys. And also thank you guys who subscribe to the show, man. It's been a tremendous help for me, not just that, but tremendous heartfelt warming when I see individuals in Houston and you guys walk up to me. It's like, man, I saw your podcast, man. I saw your podcast. And it's funny how people, they know me for my podcast and not me for me. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you guys continue to spread the word and having people tune in that never will thought about tuning in. So thank you guys for that. Today, guys, we have a special show for you guys today. You've probably seen this individual somewhere singing, somewhere in church, somewhere praising the Lord, somewhere with an angel outfit on. I saw, the last post I saw, you had an angel outfit on. You've probably seen her somewhere in Houston or in Louisiana or Mississippi, one of these places, singing or just delivering her talent. I'd like everybody to welcome to the show, Miss Jenni P. Hey.
Hey guys.
How you doing, ma'am?
I am really, really good.
Oh, that's a good one. Really, really good?
Really, really good.
No New Year's resolutions coming up?
For what?
Oh, you just live.
You start what you need to do as soon as you think it.
Oh, hey, you know what? I need to start doing that.
Yeah. Why wait?
As soon as you don't need a resolution if
You
you
might
already
not
living
get
there.
there.
That's right.
So you gotta start living your best life from the moment you realize what's gonna make it better.
That makes sense. I'm going to start changing my life today.
Man.
That's a word right there in
Man.
itself. That's a word. So, Jenni, question for you. First question of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you from?
Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, stand up.
Hold up. Memphis, Tennessee. Shout out to Glorilla, man.
Oh man.
Really?
Yeah.
How long you been in Houston?
3 years now.
Okay.
It was 3 years in August.
So you came out for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You're a COVID baby. You.
Houston COVID baby, yes.
Oh, okay. Memphis. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a lot of stuff about Memphis that I like. I used to live in Mississippi years ago, and I used to travel up 55 to Memphis all the time, and have a couple of friends there.
Yeah.
The food is good there.
Come on, best barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue.
I don't want to argue with your mama.
Yeah. 'Cause I just recently posted something about Keith Lee was on one of the shows, and he did his top 3. And of course, New Orleans, where I'm from, is number 1.
Okay.
A lot of people had a lot to say about that.
Okay.
and look, if I say Memphis, you're going to be like, the barbecue is the best ever.
I mean, and I'm not going to argue with you on that one because I've been in New Orleans a few times
Yeah.
in the last couple of months.
Okay.
Only going back for the food. So I even brought back a little bit of the twang.
Oh, okay.
Like every now and again, I got to watch myself.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
from New Orleans.
Okay.
I'm from Memphis, but they come out.
Yeah. See what it is? We contagious, but that's a whole nother show.
A little bit.
When people come down there, we get people get contagious.
culture,
They love the
man.
culture, they love the music, they love the food, and but I'm not. Keith Lee said number 1 New Orleans.
Okay, all right.
I had to big up New Orleans.
All
I'm sorry.
right.
I'm sorry.
We
But-
was in there though.
Yeah. So being from Memphis, Beale Street, a lot of history in terms of music comes out of Memphis. So let me ask you this: are you a PK?
A GGPK.
GGPK. What is that?
Well, actually, a GPK, a grand
Grand Pastor's Child.
Pastor's child, yes.
A grand of a. Yeah.
Yep.
So your
It's
grandfather.
lineage.
Your grandfather was a pastor. Okay. Well, my grandfather was a pastor too. He was a bishop.
Oh, wow.
A bishop, and we was a fool. The grandchildren was a fool.
Man.
My grandmother didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. That's AI was saying that, but nah.
Man.
It skipped the generations for some reason. We was raised in church, but you know how like the grandkids raised in church from like from the minute they small all the way till they get out the house. But when they get out the
Train up a
house,
child.
they wildin'. We gonna get into that.
You start early.
They're wildin'. So okay, you from Memphis. So you've been in Houston 3 years. So everybody that doesn't know you, they know that the ones that when I first met you, I met you through another friend. You probably don't remember, this is years ago, and Brandy. And I was like, okay, she got soul.
Yeah.
I said, who was that young lady? I never seen her around here. You know what I'm saying? Then you had that raspy voice. You had that voice like what's that gospel singer? I can't think of her name. But she has a real raspy voice. But it's like that gospel singer and Anita Baker, like that clash. You had that soul.
A merger. I don't know which one you're talking about.
Kim.
I know you're not gonna say Kim Burrell.
Kim Burrell. That's
Mighty God.
Kim Burrell.
That might be a comparison I've never heard before, but it's an honor.
Yeah, because you know Kim Burrell got that raspy undertone.
Oh yeah.
But and Anita Baker has that soul, so you had that clash like that. I was like, okay. So I was at some event, and I saw you. I was like, oh, she all right.
Man,
She
thank
all
you. I
right.
appreciate you.
Yeah, much love.
Been
much
keeping
love.
up since. I appreciate you for that.
Yeah. So what got you into the arts?
Both sides of my family are musical.
Really?
Yeah. So my father played at least 3 instruments. My mother sang. Every time we go home, it's that scene where you see grandma or grandpa or one of the aunties sit down at the keyboard or the piano, and the family just circles around, and we're gonna sit there and we're gonna sing flat foot, just belting out gospel songs, and it might even have a mini little service.
Right.
And on my father's side, everybody plays something, sings something. So being the PKs, my mom and her siblings, they just all had a role because the church was not just a church. My grandfather pastored. It was his church.
Right.
So
He
he
owned
wasn't
the church.
hired.
Yeah.
It was his church.
He owned, yeah.
Last name Tucker, it was Tucker's Temple.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the children had their role, and most of it was musical. And then after you get done singing, you go put your usher gloves on or whatever else you need to do in the kitchen to make sure dinner is ready at the end. But it started with music.
Yeah, different roles in the church.
Oh, yeah.
So how many siblings was it?
6 of them.
It was 6 siblings. How many grandkids?
Ooh.
Buku?
At least 40
So 40?
between the 6 kids.
God. Ooh, Lord. Y'all been doing, okay.
Man.
Much love to the bed not being defiled.
Do you hear me? I think, okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. I would say 27 to 30 grandkids.
But that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's 6 apiece.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm sorry. That's 5. Well,
At least 5.
at least 5 apiece.
So interchanging that a little bit, one person might have had
More than
6,
others. Yeah.
and the other one had 3. But
Lord.
yeah, and the grandkids.
So let me ask you this, because having a big family like that, everybody was in the church, or the church was the family?
The church was the family.
Okay.
It was kind of 2 families, because the main elder would bring his
Family.
whole family, and we integrated. Then we would have people from the neighborhood that knew that my grandfather was a pillar in the community, so they
Okay.
would sprinkle in and out. But the majority was almost like, I don't know if you watched the sitcom Family Business.
Yeah.
It was church family business.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like what's that? Greenleaf.
No, that's the reason why I didn't use that one. There's a reason
It was like Greenleaf.
why I didn't use that example, but yes,
Yeah.
somewhat.
But I like Greenleaf because it's real life.
Man, it was. Well, we could be Greenleaf without the scandals.
The scandals.
Yes.
Well, in church, we're going to get into that. In church, they have scandal. They don't make it a good church. You got to have a good scandal.
I don't know. I don't know.
So having that influence around all your family like that and being around the church, so you was destined to be a singer. So I take it, like you said, you had multiple roles. I take it you was in a choir, right? Your people was in a choir. Your grandfather was a pastor. Your mother was probably the first. I mean, your grandmother was the first lady with the hat in the corner. what's the old the deaconess? You had deaconess,
Deaconess, missionaries,
evangelists.
evangelists.
So for y'all, so for people, this is new language for people that never been in the church. Most people have, but I take it was Church of God in Christ or non-denomination
It was
or Baptist.
a holiness church at
Holiness.
first.
Oh, okay.
And then shortly before he passed, it became Church of God in Christ.
So for the people that Church of God in Christ, they say Kojic, you have different titles in the church, as if, like, say, if you're in a business, you have the CEO, you have the founder, chief of staff, president,
treasurers.
In the church, it's the same way. You have evangelists, deaconess, deacons, church mothers, ushers, bishops, elders, so on and so forth. So many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Everybody got a role.
And you do have a chief of staff, but he the lead deaconess.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right.
He knows everybody's
He
business.
might have a pistol and a pack of cigarettes.
Right.
Just maybe. Depending.
He know how to pray, but he also know how to
hey, come on,
shoot
Peter.
somebody.
Come on, Peter. You need at least one good one.
Oh yeah, you gotta have a thug in the church, man. You gotta have a thug in the church. So having that influence and being around that, I take it that shaped your life to what you are now? Right, do you have kids?
I have one.
When did you raise your child in the church like that?
I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I did.
Because most PKs or most grand PKs, they raise their children with standards and values, but not in the church because.
Oh no. So I had the ability to have a little bit of maturity when it came to the church house and religious people. I like to think that my relationship was for real, is for real. So I was able to separate the fact that it's still people that run the church. So if there was something that I didn't like about some of the standards or some of the obligations and requirements, I knew how to sift those pieces away and still be able to go into the house and worship because of my relationship with God.
Okay.
So if anything that I did differently, I tried to allow my son the opportunity to see and not shelter him from the reality of what was happening, but know that there are some politics that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
It's still a business.
Absolutely.
And it's still ran by humans.
Right.
So unless we've got demigods, or as the fallen angels,
Yeah.
we need to understand that everybody is yet striving and pressing toward the mark.
I see you. Okay. So, all right, missionary. Missionary P. Yeah. Okay.
Hold on.
I'm putting them titles on you quick now.
Hold on.
So now I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you gave a quick word because I want to ask you this. Mm-hmm. How was it accepted? Using your gift, not for the church.
Oh, that was a fight at first. Now, I have to tell you, my father was military, so that's how I got to Texas. And going to church in San Antonio, I was one of the major worship leaders for my church. I've been there almost 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, well, hey, you're one of the faces of our department, so we can't have your face
with this
on this flyer that says this, that, and the other. And I fought it for a minute. Like, y'all don't understand. We in here recycling saints and rotating people from other churches. Who's doing outreach? I'm doing wholesome music. I had a standard. I wasn't singing certain calibers of songs.
Okay.
I wasn't wearing certain
outfits.
After I get done, I'm leaving. I'm not drinking when I go. Those things change.
Strict.
It shifted a little bit. You get a little comfortable on the scene.
So you dabbled in it, basically.
I dabbled.
You stuck your toe in it.
Later years, but when I was a prominent worship leader for that ministry, no.
Okay.
It was a job, a contract job.
So you was dedicated to it.
I was.
That's it. I'm going to seek after God. I'm going to praise God through my gift, and that's it.
It had so many people, and still do, had so many people that would follow me the next day. So I saw you Saturday night, and you swinging on the bar stool.
Uh-oh.
But Sunday morning,
uh-oh,
you texted me, Where's the church at? Absolutely, come on.
Yeah.
However, I need to go get them. Because Jesus didn't sit in the temple all day.
Yeah.
He sat among the whoremongers and the drunkards and the tax collectors.
The strippers.
And the strippers.
My favorite.
Come on.
They're my favorites.
Okay.
All right, go
You
ahead.
do ministry at the strip
And then-
club?
Shout out to ministers that go to the strip
Come
club.
on to the house tomorrow. Pay your tithes from these dollars I'm giving
There you go.
There it is.
There you go, right
However
there.
you gotta
Bam.
do it.
I'm a good tipper in the church.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
You know, I need to be entertained in the church every now and then.
Really?
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
So okay. So, but it's funny you said that, because I tell all my partners, all my church friends and family, I tell them I'm not a Bible toting person, right? I was raised in I know the word and all that, but I be messing around. But I said Jesus went for the sick.
Yeah.
I said a hospital is for sick people, not for well people. So why are we in here preaching to well people already? I said that doesn't make sense.
There's no room. Like when COVID was happening,
Right.
they had no
room.
beds.
That's right. People sick and
You
they had
got people you're sending them home to die because you ain't got no room.
That's right.
What are we here for?
That's the purpose. But, people, of course, they say, we got a fellowship and all that, but, that's a whole nother argument.
Yeah, I mean, you got to it's a fine line. You get out there, and I have been guilty of becoming consumed with the scene and forgetting that I'm supposed to be the light in the room. So it's a constant fight to make sure that they don't dim your light, but you're constantly the one that's changing or shifting the atmosphere.
So I want you to talk about the light. So that the term that you used, the light, being from the background you are, we understand what you mean by, well, some people understand what you mean by being that light in a dark place. But some people that's not of that scene or of the church world, when you say the light, some people might be like, you think you better than me? So I want you to explain that for people, because for the viewers, because it was like, what she mean the light? Who is she?
Okay, so one of the simpler kid songs that they used to give us, to where we rehearsed what we are to know about Christ, is Jesus is the light of the world. And if I am created in God's image and I am in his likeness, and Jesus is my big brother, I carry that same light. And it is my mission with all the darkness, not of people, but of spiritual principalities and things that we battle with every day, mental health, substance abuse, liars and cheaters and whoremongers and disease, and all the things that we struggle with on a daily basis as a fight. I have committed to being a minstrel or a conduit of positive energy, showing love and care, where a lot of people will turn their backs or speak negatively towards your situation. And in doing so, it is that I'm convinced that if I can be that for one person, it'll be a domino effect. They'll pay it forward. But as a person, because don't get it twisted again, we talked about people being in the church, still being people. If you got a nasty attitude, you getting saved ain't going to change your nasty attitude.
Right.
That's the daily work that you have to work towards. So you get that usher. Come, you going to sit where I tell you to sit.
All ushers had to be mean. They had to be mean. They had to slap you, they had to pinch you and everything.
Come on.
All ushers. I still got a trauma from looking at them white stockings with them platform white
Lord.
shoes. And he said, come here.
Hey.
Take that peppermint out your
I
mouth.
was about to say, as long as you didn't have gum or candy in
They
your
step
mouth,
in
you'd
the
have
back
been
of the
fine.
head.
So you already knew you was in violation.
I said, them ushers, I see a woman in a white outfit, white shoes, it's just trauma for me. I see it, I say, oh.
Oh, my God.
I think that's why
you got PTSD with
Oh, yeah, I
ushers.
do. When I see white shoes, just white shoes, heels, whatever, it does something to me. Yeah, I think I need to go to my therapist for that.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So any woman that I ever dated had white shoes, I told her to throw
can't
them
do-
away. Oh, no. No white dresses, none of that stuff.
Sorry, y'all.
No, can't go to Night and White. Can't go to Founders Day. Nah, put some color on that. No all white.
Founders Day.
Yeah, founders. You know, they wear all white.
Or Communion Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, communion. Oh no, I can't go. Oh.
You gonna break bread at home?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's too much trauma right there. That right there triggers everywhere. Every guy that white, I'll say, oh, I can't.
Come on, you gonna forsake the assembly because they got all white.
All that white. It's just, yeah. Shout out to the ushers though.
Man, we love you.
Shout out to the
He's
ushers.
just joking.
And we ain't talking about usher, the artists. We talking about ushers.
Right.
Ushers.
The one hand behind your back with the gloves on.
Yeah.
And sometimes a daughter. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, them. So transitioning from church to what they call it in
Secular
the secular.
atmospheres.
So you was young. How old were you when you started migrating?
It was 2005. So I had to have been 22,
I
21,
thought you was
22.
29 now.
So put a pin in that right there because I'll be 40 in 3 weeks, and I need to talk about that party that's coming up.
Ooh, 40.
We want to go Lord for faithfulness. Man, he goes off things with it.
40. Okay. Okay, so that was 25 years ago, right?
Yeah.
2005. Mm-hmm. So you was what, 15? No.
No,
You
20
was
years.
20. What is that? 15. 15 and
20
25
years
is 40, right? Yeah, it's 40. You was 20.
20.
20.
Mm-hmm.
My math is off. I went to a black school, so look.
Watch your mouth.
Don't
I went
st-
to HBCU too.
Hey, look, I got an education, but some things I was slipping
Slip through
on.
the cracks.
Yeah. Shout out to my math teachers. So you was young. When did you realize that I have to live my life, and I want to do this more, the secular scene? And then how was it received by the bishop?
So I didn't do a full migration until 2017.
So you came out your shell late.
It was almost 12 years where it's like, okay, y'all don't put my face on the flyer. Like, I'll be there, but
Then
don't
how they knew who was
advertise.
performing?
The people knew.
Oh, the people knew. Okay. Look,
The people on that side knew.
I got you.
But I kind of tried to hide it because it was an argument for a minute. Like, well, if we know you performing out there, we can't let you minister in the house. It's like, that's your rules. I
Okay.
respect it.
Okay.
I think you're making a mistake. I think you're misunderstanding my assignment and what God has told me I can and cannot do. My conviction is not your conviction.
Right.
But this is your house.
Right.
So I'm going to respect it.
That's real.
So for a minute, it was like, okay, they haven't put the hard pin on it. It's like, we really just don't like you doing this. But I feel like if I over publicized it, I would have been shut down in the church. And I want to make sure that the church gets theirs first.
Right.
Because ministry first, and then the other stuff.
That's you obedient then.
I try to be.
Yeah, because I know most people's like, man, nigga, please.
And you know what started that? It's like, okay, if there's a lawyer and their client is a murderer, I still got to do my job.
You got to do your job.
If I'm an accountant
Yep.
and I know my client has some offshore accounts that ain't
Embezzling money.
Listen,
Stealing.
my job is to count it. It ain't to tell you what to do with it or where to get it from.
Right.
Like, so when it comes down to musicians and singers, we got to pick and choose.
Yeah. Well, I think me personally,
And actors too.
I think people put people in a box.
Yeah.
And they think they should do what they think that they're supposed to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
People think if you in the church or you a pastor, you ain't supposed to drink wine, or you can't go out to, outside of Houston, because pastors in Houston, they be.
Watch yourself again.
we be outside of
relax.
Houston. We be at brunch, but outside of Houston,
everywhere.
Yeah.
When they have their own personal conversations with God, do I or do I not? And there may be seasons where it might be okay right now, but that's going to come to an end because there's something else I need you to do, so I can't afford you being in this light or in this area. So it govern thine's own self.
Yeah, that's real.
Because I can't get you into heaven or keep you out.
So did that I guess make you hesitant going back to the church because how they handle it?
No.
Like, you know, some people turn their back. They be like, I ain't going back to church no more.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I have had the struggle of returning to the same church.
Okay.
On a couple of occasions because I have moved around.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't just tell my father he's not my father anymore. I can't tell my sister she's not my sister anymore. I can't tell my cousins we're not cousins anymore if we fall out or we have a disagreement. I might need to take a step back, get a breather, but we're going to come back together. If it's my choice, we're going to come back together. We're going to mend these broken pieces, and we're going to keep moving forward because we got something we need to do. And that's how I look at ministry. I think that too many people too easily are able to cut off stuff. Because I have a choice and I'm not forced to do it, as soon as it gets hard, I'm done. I'm gone. Well, you'll never accomplish anything and you're going to die a very lonely person.
Right.
Because somebody is going to always do something wrong
Absolutely.
in your space.
Did you think you outgrew that situation? Because before you answer that question, when I say outgrew the situation, sometimes exposure leads to expansion. Sometimes when you go out in the world and see things, I use this analogy all the time. When you go out to other places in other countries, you see how other countries live. You come back, he's like, I have a greater understanding on how the world operates versus how, you go back to the house or go back to that church, you'd be like, I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, but.
Oh, man. I think that it was coming. It just wasn't coming in the time where I had something else I needed to do.
Okay.
And out of blind loyalty, I wanted to stay as long as I could to be the reason why, or to be the stepping stone and the help factor for when you get where you need to be. Because they're there now.
Yeah.
I was watching them today. It's like, oh, man, y'all are on fire. And the young people have more room. And it was just that you have an older generation of leaders that are scared of change.
Yeah.
So we did things like the DISC assessments and personality tests to see who's in what office and why they think the way they think, and how we can merge the younger and the older people together so that we can make progress. Because otherwise we're going to be the people in the wilderness marching 40 years around this mountain and never possessing the promised land. And then there are some people that had to die off or be removed from that space in order for them to possess the promise. So that's the way I looked at that situation.
That's real, and that's that could be a word for somebody, and not just in the spiritual world, but you could use that in the physical world too. It's a lot of systems, it's a lot of things that are put in place, and
they need to be revamped.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not.
Shout out to HEB for getting tap back.
Okay.
Tap to pay. You know, you stuck. If I have to run back to the car with my card.
I know, right? Get cash. Who has cash?
Come on, keep up with the times.
You're right. I just found out, me personally, I'm old school. I just had Apple Pay on my phone. I didn't know it the whole time. The lady,
you make sure you edit that part out. You don't tell nobody else that.
Well, I didn't know. So the young lady was like, "You have an iPhone, right?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Let me see your phone."
Oh my
She tapped it. She said, "There you go." I said, "What?" She said, "It's paid for." I said, "What you just did?"
And the crazy thing is, you either had a card or money on that joker.
I didn't even know.
And it's just sitting there.
I didn't know.
That's a blessing too.
And she taught me that.
Just money just sitting there. You didn't know you got it.
So what happens?
That's how you live it?
What happens, man? It
ain't fair.
It ain't me. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward. Now you move to Houston. COVID hit. You moved to Houston. So you moved to Houston. You had to get to know new people. You had to get it had a new scene. It's COVID. It's the middle of a pandemic. We was outside in the pandemic. That's the only place, you know.
I didn't come until y'all was outside. For real.
We was outside. I had Ashley up here, the owner of Urban Social, up here last week, and we was talking about when she opened Urban Social in the heart of the pandemic, and Houston was popping. Urban Social was popping.
Y'all the reason why they made so many rules.
It was us in Florida.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
why so many people moved down here because it was on TikTok, Instagram. It was like, yo, we out here, we in Houston, and everybody else in the house.
No.
They doing digital recording, and
And
we
y'all live.
we we live.
Fine.
We at the bar.
Fine. It's hard here.
But no, I'm saying so what made how did you acclimate yourself into society in Houston?
Well, again, being a military brat and being in ministry and a people person, those three things worked for me
Okay.
because I'm able to engage new people and have uncomfortable conversations to get my foot in the door or make myself known. It also helps that because the live music scene is booming here, people would see my clips, people in ministry that also play for local bars, lounges, and establishments.
Okay.
They was like, well, we didn't know you did live music. Well, because I was kind of keeping it on the hush, but
Right.
now, hey, why?
Yeah, because you was quiet at first.
I was from 2005 to 2017, 18, yeah.
Real quiet.
So come 21, I needed a change of scenery.
Okay.
House was out of order, so I needed to escape that. And one person in particular, shout out to Mr. Gary Mays, he brought me down, and it was to the fact where I was performing 4 and 5 nights a week in Houston and traveling back home for 2 or 3 days a week. It's like, well, that
Really?
doesn't make sense. If work is prevalent here,
I'll just stay here.
might as well make the transition.
Yeah.
So then getting down here and networking with all the other people on the scene and learning venue owners and managers and promoters, like, well, hey, we need you over here.
Yeah.
We need you over here. Like this week, I have 8 gigs in 5 days.
Really? See, that's blessing. That's a blessing.
That's a blessing.
Shout out to the blessing right
Man,
there. A holiday blessing.
when you have to be turning them down,
The holiday blessing. So do you still do praise and worship in the church? Mm-hmm. You still okay? Because that's money too now.
well, and that's what I was going to say earlier.
Okay.
The biggest fight with people who have the occupation of music is that if you're not going to provide me, and you don't do it for the money, but if I'm not making my worth trying to be loyal to the house,
Yeah.
it becomes my reasonable service. I still got to go out here and
You got
work.
bills.
And you're not going to tell me that
I can't do this.
now I need to go work at McDonald's
No, ma'am.
or Ross.
No.
Something that has nothing to do with my skill. I was given the skill, and when I do it outside the house, it still draws.
Right.
So I'm still on assignment. I'm not perverting or what they used to call it, you pimping out your gift.
No, you're not.
To a certain extent, there are people that can get there, but if you do it wisely and you find, like I have residencies, I tend to not try to be all over the city and looking for the next person to let me in or selling my soul just to
Right.
make a dollar. Like I set up a space where I have regular customers. It's kind of like my house. So you come into my house, I'm gonna break bread with you. You're welcome to come back, and if you want to remain family after that, I can tell you about some networking opportunities, tell you
Right.
about ministry. I can tell you where to go find your next outfit. We develop conversations, so it's not like I'm doing like pop up this, that, and the
Right.
other.
Right. You're not out there getting it out the mud.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're not hustling. You just, if God set it up for you, you took the opportunity
absolutely.
and you're going with it. The good thing about Houston, I like two cities that I've been in and lived in, LA and Houston, and I'm just talking on the spiritual scene. It's no, I guess, commonality where people that are in church do one thing. They might be business owners, they might be public speakers, they might be ministers, they might be artists. They do multiple things, and it's accepted
Right.
because how society in that area views them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of places, a lot of rural areas like a Mississippi or Louisiana, and no shade, Louisiana, because I'm from Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, some parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Virginia,
Southern
North
state.
Carolina, South Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, the Bible Belt. That's why it's called the Bible Belt because
Mm-hmm.
it's the set of rules are so strict, and it's like I forgot Tennessee.
Of course.
The set of rules are so strict. I'm like, bro, God, God gave multiple people multiple talents,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not he might have gave one person one talent, but some people got a lot of talents. They could do a lot of things, and they could do them real well.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think some people back then in those Bible Belt places, they think that person should only be doing it in this space, which is unfair.
It's very unfair. And if you don't have the platform or the capital to make sure that I can only do it for the church,
Yeah,
then you really don't have a say so
right,
with where else I have to use it.
right. That makes sense. I'm with you. I'm with you. So you got this 40th birthday coming up. So what we doing? What we doing for this 40th?
So I will be at Tribeca,
Okay.
which is on Emancipation here in Houston. It's a red gala. So I looked up the colors because I'm a themed oriented person. But there's no color for the 40th birthday. There's only a color for the 40th anniversary. Well, this is my anniversary of life.
Okay.
So the color for 40 is red. So I'm asking that all the attendees come in their finest red. It's a gala. So if you got on jeans or sweats, you will be turned around at the door with no refund to your ticket. Amen.
Hallelujah.
But it's going to be a phenomenal show. I'm wanting to go back to the way I first started performing. The club gig is cool, but I'm used to dancing and
Yeah.
choreo and transitions, like a full production of a show.
Right.
So this is exactly what we're going to do on January 1st. The doors open at 7.
Oh, New Year's
New Year's Day.
Day. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. Show starts at 8, and I'm going to give you 2 hours of fresh performance. There's going to include mostly new material. I'm going to have special guest appearances by the other colleagues and vocalists in the city that I'd like to honor and appreciate for allowing me to share the scene with them. And we're just going to party and have a good time. I mean, and the reason why I did it on the 1st and not my actual birthday, the 31st, is because we're talking about musicians and singers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest money-making days
For everybody.
For everybody in that industry, because everybody's having a party. They
Yeah.
want live entertainment.
Yep.
And because it's a holiday, most venues and contractors will pay double
Yeah.
for your trouble, because we're taking you away from celebrating.
That's right.
We're taking you away from just being in the bed if you want to on the holiday.
Yeah,
So most people respect the fact that it's a holiday. We're going to pay you for your time and for your sacrifice of spending it with us. So because I know my colleagues are doing that on the 31st, my actual birthday, we're going to celebrate the day after. It's going to be like a New Year's after party.
What time does it start?
7.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tribeca on Emancipation, right down the street from the house.
So you can go to Eventbrite. It will be Jenni P's Red Gala.
Okay.
And there are ticket options there. There are drink packages available there. There will be food, hookah, other things available at the venue, but that's a la carte. You figure that part out on your own. However much you want to enjoy your experience, you can figure that out at the venue. But ticketing and drink options will be found on the Eventbrite.
This Eventbrite Jenni P.
Jenni P's
Red Gala.
The Red Gala.
The Red Gala.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all go get those tickets right now. I'm gonna show up. I might come up with. I'm gonna have my little red turtleneck, my red suit on.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
But I'm looking for the strippers. Nah,
Okay.
I'm
You
messing
know,
with
that's
you.
the after the
I'm
party.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
After the you got me stuttering.
After
That's
the party, it's
after
the
the
after
party.
party.
Right.
After the party, it's the
Y'all
motel
can go
lobby.
west so whenever you want. It is
Yeah.
a Wednesday night.
Oh, that'd be rough. Ooh.
So most people might be off still for the first,
I'm
but
gonna be
not
off.
the second.
But ooh. that'd be
Yes,
rough.
people got the teachers will still be off.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
They
off.
can go with you.
For now, I'm gonna take off.
Okay. All right.
Cause I'm gonna be having the good spirit in me.
Yeah.
Spirit-
Okay.
Not that spirit. you know.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, you know.
Bring one of these and a microphone.
Yeah. We could do, you want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to do like a walk up? How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Y'all looking good? What y'all wearing tonight?
Man,
Like a Hollywood walk up?
absolutely.
Okay.
I'll give you media coverage in
Yeah.
pass, so you don't
Okay.
got to pay.
Yeah, y'all want? Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, come on.
Free-
Blessings on blessings. I know
got.
how to.
I like that. I like that. Okay. We gonna talk off camera.
Absolutely.
We gonna talk off camera. Okay. Question for you, man. I know you got to get out of here, but I want to ask you this right quick, since it sparked my interest, and I have these conversations with holy women all the time. Holy.
All right.
So, being a person that was raised in the church, you have morals, you have values, you have certain things that you're not going to do or you're not going to bend. So, I want I want to ask you this. I want to ask you about relationships right quick.
Okay.
All right. And the role of a woman, a holy woman. The 50-50 rule. You know what the 50-50 rule is? 50-50. Why are you looking at me like that? I just want your take on it. Just what's your opinion on it? What you think about that?
I want to be careful.
She about to set it up.
I want to be careful because, cancel culture is real. Because we have such a widespread pool of personalities, you have to be careful with assessing how you're going to operate the current relationship that you are in.
Okay.
I am single, of course. I've been married twice. I have one son. I have one grandchild. And I make my decisions 100% by myself. I know how to allow the male in my life the authority, the responsibility of covering, protecting, and providing.
Okay.
I know how to. There are often times.
All right. Okay.
There are often times where you may engage someone who is capable but doesn't know how.
Okay.
To lead. You might, on other occasions, encounter someone who doesn't have what they need but wants to lead.
Okay.
So finding a way to exist in different situations, because you can't help who you become attracted to. You can decide whether or not you're going to engage them.
Correct.
But once you decide to engage them, you have to be responsible enough and mature enough to say, okay, this man wants to be the covering. He wants to be in charge. He wants
To be the alpha.
to be provider.
The big dog.
Yeah, but you ain't got it.
Ooh.
And I don't doubt that you can get it. You're just not there yet.
Right. But y'all together though.
And we're together.
So what you do?
So I'm out the gate a helpmeet.
Okay.
I am out the gate.
What does that mean though?
I will assist. I will. Sometimes it may come out of my pocket. Sometimes I might need to drive. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Sometimes. So you're willing to give 50?
I'm willing to give 50.
For how long?
But this is the thing. I watched the balloon challenge.
Yeah, the balloon pop. Yeah.
One of the gentlemen said 50-50 isn't realistic. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. At any given time, it could be 100 to 0.
Yeah.
It could be 70 to 30. It could be 60-40, 50-50.
It's a sliding scale.
And whoever holds the most weight will interchange depending on the season of your relationship or the time of year.
Yeah.
I don't know that when I show up to my job this week, they're going to hand me the pink slip and say, hey, it's been nice, but we don't need you no more.
Right.
Does my partner decide at that point, well, I didn't sign up to take care of you, so I'm out? Or do you say, okay, I understand where we're at. as long as we're working to get out of this space and get back to where we're both comfortable and contributing to our situation, I'm willing to stay and fight with that.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and I think that has to be both sides.
So that's a good answer. You skated around it, but I get it.
Man,
I love it.
Because listen, people would be like,
what? You said what?
man. And I done been married twice.
Yeah.
So people will ask me all the time, well, what did you do?
When does a person know when it's time to get divorced? Especially coming from that background. Now this is gonna go viral. I'm letting you know right now. Whatever you say, it's gonna go viral.
Man.
When do you know to get a divorce or separate yourself from something that? Because in the word it says what God put together, let no man put asunder. Right?
Yeah.
You did it twice.
In the Bible,
Okay.
it also says
Talk to me. Talk to me.
that there are certain circumstances, although it is only 2 or 3,
Yeah. True.
there are certain circumstances that will allow you escape.
All right.
Those circumstances were true for me.
Okay, I get you.
And it's not that first sign of trouble, I took tail and ran. I actually fought for my marriages.
Okay.
But when you don't know where home is,
Mm.
amen.
Oh.
Somebody.
The old people say, don't let your name beat your home.
Don't let your name
beat your home.
beat your home.
Ooh.
And
His name kept beating him home.
sometimes somebody else's name will beat them home too.
Ooh,
I
Lord.
know where you been, who
Oh,
you
my
been with,
goodness.
and like I said, I didn't immediately say, "Oh, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this."
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, "Hey, come on, what we need to do?" And anybody that knows Jenni P, you gonna get a different. It's gonna be me, but
Yeah.
you're gonna get a different look, personality every day.
Yeah. Okay.
Like what you want today?
Okay,
You
know
want
how
a
to-
ginger?
Ooh, Lord.
You want a blonde? You want
Okay.
a brunette?
Okay, you change it up on
Do
him.
you want sexy? Do you want tomboy?
Okay.
Do you want to go shoot hoops? Do you want to go to the shooting range? Do you want to go out for dinner and a
Come on.
movie? Like, we had fun. There were no limitations to what we could do.
Mm-hmm.
And like we spoke about earlier, the bed is undefiled in the marital status. So whatsoever we have needed to do to make sure you want it for nothing, how many other times you want it. Like, and I'm just being real as an adult who
Say
has,
that again. How many times they want it?
listen,
Because some women be like, I ain't giving him none.
you got me messed up.
You better.
You got me messed up because I want it, first of all. So I'm going to deprive myself.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
I'm going to deprive myself because we done argued or we didn't see eye to eye. As a matter of fact, we going to go fix it real quick what we couldn't get together in words.
That makes sense.
Something. I mean, it's got to be some kind of effort because I always thought that I would have what I saw the older generations have.
Mm-hmm.
20, 30, 40
Yeah.
years with just one person.
Yeah.
So it took long enough for me to get remarried. It was not my intention to ever not be married again.
Right. I got you. Would you do it again?
No. See,
That's out of there. Like, sorry.
deuces.
No more
Man,
marriage.
but so what?
Well, you know, at this age, you about to reach your milestone at 40. So at this age, we call them life partners.
Yeah.
We don't have to be married to each other. You go to your respective place.
Mm-hmm.
I go to my respective place.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to respect each other. We're going to go to places. We're going to travel. We're going to do everything together.
Everything.
We just, you
Everything.
just go to your, yeah.
And I used to frown on that too because it's just like, man, I still want whatever I do in my relationship to be coupled with the status of marriage because it's still in the back of my head that
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be doing certain things at certain levels with people that you're not wedded to.
Right.
So it's just like I'm not numb to those teachings, but I'm realizing we live in a world that just has not the same standard
Absolutely.
or don't strive to have the same quality of relationship.
And we got options too.
And we got too many options.
We have buffets. We have Ryan's buffet. We have the Chinese buffet.
You know, Ryan's got shut down because of health issues.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you that. We had multiple.
So to that analogy,
yeah.
you keep on thinking you got choices.
You're going to get shut down by a health issue, huh? So they burning.
Health department.
And we ain't talking about the chicken. All right, guys, we got to get up out of here. So, look, by the way, if y'all didn't notice, look, me and Jenny, look, we got the same colors on.
We did. We matched today.
We got maroon and khaki.
Yeah.
Like we thought we color coordinated for the show.
It was a plan.
You feel me?
But
you
not.
feel me?
Yeah.
So, one more time, Jenny, look, before we get out of here, give your Instagram and give the information for the party on for New Year's Day.
Okay. So on all social media platforms, you can find me at JenniP Music. On Instagram, it is Jenni P _music. Make sure you check out the YouTube, the TikTok, the Instagram. Facebook is Jen Powell if you're still using Facebook. But let's connect some kind of way. January 1st, you need to be in the building at Tribeca. It starts at 7. It's from 7 to 11. Go to Jenni P's The Red Gala on Eventbrite for your tickets. Or you can actually just DM me and I can make sure that we make that transaction and I get you on the list.
There it is, guys. Y'all got the information. Make sure y'all go hit Jenny up, man. We going to be there. I'm going to be there. Silk going to be there. P going to be there. Mama there. C there. Anyway, y'all know about that. That's in the 90s. So, we going to be there, guys. Make sure y'all get your tickets and everything. Much love to everybody that tuned in. Much love to everybody that just support the show, man. I appreciate you guys. And as we going into the new year, man, make sure that we're doing it right. Make sure you hug somebody, kiss somebody, man. Word of the show. We're going to leave word of the show. Give me a word before we get out of here. A quick word. One word.
One word. Respect.
Respect. RESPECP. T. It wasn't a tequila. It wasn't a tequila. All right, guys. We got to get out of here. It's your boy, DJ KR. I love you guys. And you can't do nothing about it. Peace out.
Bye, y'all.